Now what Jimmy will be doing is after he goes around the first turn, he'll be pushing horses out of the way to go forward. There's no doubt about that. Super Sleuth, Tycoon Lil, they're probably going to be in front. Gold Guru will be back. What I'm trying to do now is get my horse to relax at about the 1,300 metres because we turn at the 1,200. I want to be on the fence or one off. I'm watching for Might and Power. Where is he? If Jimmy's going too fast, I'll let him go. If he's going too slow, I'm happy. I'll sit off him. Now this race really begins at the half mile. The swoopers start to come. Swoopers are the horses back in the field. The horses like Dodge, Dracula, Kenwood Melody. The race is really on. Turning for home, they're going full bore. Might and Power's in front. Tycoon Lil's challenging. Watch for Kenwood Melody late. It's a great race. May Might and Power get beat, I'm afraid to say, by Tycoon Lil.
Shane Dye, the rider of Tycoon Lil, who of course is trained by the Kiwi Colin Gillings. Here's Colin speaking with Darren Beedman.
Well, Cole, you've got Tycoon Lil. Have you got an update for us?
Well, she travelled in on the float. I came with her. She travelled in and didn't turn her hair. She's had her blood taken. She's still not sweating, quite settled. I'm very pleased with her.
Her work must have been pleasing for you, the way she's been able to adapt here on at MOONEE Valley the other morning.
I didn't ask her for much here the other morning, Darren. I did a lot of work with her last Saturday morning, a week ago today. She satisfied me there. On Thursday, I let her run an easy 1,600. First 1,000, she went about 14, 15 to the furlong, and then came home in 36, quite well within herself. I was very pleased.
She sounds like me, she's trained to the minute.
I would say this is a race I come for. I didn't get much of a reception with the pickers this morning on TV, but she'll give them a good wrestle, have no fear.
Should tell Colin Gillings that those tipsters on TV aren't always exactly right.
Well, we've made an impression in New Zealand anyway. It's good to have a Kiwi watching us tomorrow morning.
Good on you, Simon. Simon Marshall is behind the barrier. I bet they all look a treat, mate.
Yeah, Kenny, it's hard not to call one looking very, very well in the coat. I can tell you that Might and Power, he got a little jazzed up in the mounting yard with the huge crowd here at MOONEE Valley, but he's came round to the barriers with the clerk of the course, as he always does, and he's lovely and relaxed. No excuses whatsoever. DORIEMUS has just walked past me, and he's an 8-year-old, and Greg gave him an extra warm-up more than any of the other runners, just to warm his bones up, and he looks fantastic. CATALAN opening, well, Damien's just walking past me now, and he's lovely and relaxed. I don't think he realises it's Cox Plate Day. By geez, he will when he jumps out of the gates. Super Slew, no excuse whatsoever, looks fine. Same with Batavian. Gold Guru, well, he's a very, very fit horse, and if anything, he looks a little pretty, so maybe the edge is back on him. He could cause some threat if tactics go wrong in the race with Might and Power. Dodge, well, can't fault from the Hawk stable. He looks fantastic, as well as Northern Drake. Tycoon Lil, the mare, she's just walking around beautifully and relaxed. Shane wasn't too fast whatsoever. He's the Iceman, as we all know, and she looks fabulous walking behind the gates. Dracula, the 3-year-old, he's nice and relaxed. He's soaking up the atmosphere out here. It's not bothering him too much. He's just sweated up a little bit on the shoulder. That's not too bad. Same with Kenwood Melody. He got a little revved up back in the bird cage as they were walking around the mounting yard. But now that he's had a warm-up on track, Ken, he's lovely and relaxed as well. As we just got the Power walking past us, well, if you had a pen, you'd be able to join all these dapples up on his coat. He looks superb. Back to you, Kenny.
Yeah, thank you very much, Simon. And there he is, Might and Power, Jim Cassidy. Simon O'Donnell looks as good as you could hope.
Yes, he certainly does. He's nice and relaxed around there. I think that's a key to him. He seems to respond to Jimmy Cassidy. He likes walking around with the pony prior to the race. He just doesn't seem flighty at all, so you would expect Jim to be able to guide him the way he wants.
Well, Farlap is the only previous horse to win a Cox Plate after he won a Melbourne Cup. Might and Power's trying to do that. Rising Fast won all three in an absolutely marvellous 18-day period in 1954. And, well, Might and Power is trying to win all three over the space of just over 12 months. A Caulfield Cup, a Melbourne Cup, and a Cox Plate. Jimmy Cassidy, he rode him in the 2 Cups wins, and he's back on board him today. The horses have started to go forward, taking their place. Might and Power's gone in. I saw Dracula go next to him. There's Tycoon Lil coming forward now. And, well, pressure would be mounting on the jockeys. And I suppose, too, on the connections in the stand, even though at the moment they've done all they possibly can. The bandaged horse there in the Australian colours of green and gold is the outsider, Super Slew. There you are, the win pool on Super Tab is 2.4 million and the place pool over 1.3 million. They're ready, they're about to go in the BMW Cox Plate. Here's Greg Miles.
Kenwood Melody's linked in, and Northern Drake will complete the lineup for the Cox Plate. Crowd already starting to roar. They're set. Off for the Cox Plate. Might and Power, if anything, missed it a half length. Tycoon Lil had a look over, and he shot the mare straight to the front ahead of Might and Power. There's Kenwood Melody. The 3-year-old zips up very fast on the outside to join the leader. Di looking around, wanting someone to go to the front, I think. Might and Power switches 3 deep. Super Slew 4 wide, turning out of the straight, and Batavian just behind them from Northern Drake. Might and Power let go and moved up on the outside at the 1,600 metres. Di let him go, and Might and Power led. Tycoon Lil wanted to sit on him. Sits back 2 lengths away. Kenwood Melody outside, Batavian 2 lengths. Super Slew 5th, and then Dracula. Northern Drake next from Gold Guru. Dodge 3rd to last from Catalan Opening. And Old Doremus last of all. The Cox Plate field heads to the 1,200 turn. And Might and Power by a length and a quarter. Shane Dye staying off the fence on Tycoon Lil second into that bottom turn. Batavian is 3rd. Ahead to Kenwood Melody. 2 lengths to Dracula. Super Slew on the outside of him. About 4 lengths further back. Northern Drake and Gold Guru. 1 further back is Dodge, Catalan Opening, and Doremus last of all. 1,000 metres to go, and Might and Power by 2 lengths to Tycoon Lil. 3/4 away, 3rd on the inside is Batavian, 1 to Kenwood Melody. The fellow 3-year-old Dracula a length and a half behind it, and then Super Slew, 2 lengths to Northern Drake and Gold Guru. 1 to Dodge and Catalan Opening, and 1 to Remus, 15 off the leader. Might and Power comes down the side in the Cox Plate and leads by 2 lengths to Tycoon Lil. A length and a half to Kenwood Melody, and they're followed by Batavian, 2 Dracula, Northern Drake, Gold Guru, Dodge. Super Slew's dropping out quickly. Catalan Opening is second last, and now DORIEMUS has gone past it, coming up towards the turn, 400 to go, and the pumper gets to work on the big champ, and it's Might and Power the leader. Kenwood Melody going to second around Tycoon Lil when they corner, and then Batavian, and next is Northern Drake and Dodge. Might and Power comes around the home corner, the leader. He's kicked out by 2. Northern Drake is chasing home hard on the outside after the leader, and Tycoon Melody battling strongly. It's Might and Power the leader. Northern Drake a length and a half away coming home, but Might and Power, the big champ, the king, joins the greats of the turf, and Might and Power's won it from Northern Drake. 3rd home is Tycoon Lil. Then came Dodge, Catalan Opening, Dracula. Next to finish was DORIEMUS and Gold Guru, Batavian, Kenwood Melody, and last of all is Super Slew.
Well, he did it. The champ did it. The first horse since father to win a Cox Plate after the Melbourne Cup. Number 1, Might and Power, $1.90, $1.30. Number 8, Northern Drake. Wow, what a run. He looked like winning for a bound, $14.10. And number 9, Tycoon Lil, $2.10. What a thrilling Cox Plate. Might and Power, Northern Drake, Tycoon Lil. All credit to Jack Denham, all credit to Jimmy Cassidy. This super horse, the best modern day horse. Cassidy's riding him here. He's pumping. Northern Drake started to come for Greg Childs. Cassidy got the whip out again. Get going, fella, he said. And you watch him salute as he hits the winning post. Second last year on Volante. Yote, says Jimmy, as he goes across the line to win. Now let's just stop them here and we'll point out the horses. There, of course, is the winner, Might and Power. Now out here is Northern Drake with the red cap. Just inside of him is Kenwood Melody. Catalan Opening is gone. Tycoon Lil is struggling. So just watch the 2 circled horses. Might and Power on the inside as we roll it. And Northern Drake out in the centre of the track. Straight into second place now, Northern Drake behind Tycoon Lil. But son, pressure's going to come. He ducks in a little bit. And Might and Power, he doesn't weaken. He keeps going. And Might and Power goes on to win the BMW Cox Plate from Northern Drake and Tycoon Lil. Wowee. Jim Cassidy salutes the crowd as he wins the Cox Plate on Might and Power. There is a head-on, Might and Power in the white cap, the cerise-coloured sleeves. Tycoon Lil ducks behind him in the turquoise and cerise quartered cap. That's Catalan Opening in the black and white check. Batavian back on the rails in the white and orange. And I might tell you that the jockey is dismounted from the roughie Super Slew who pulled up sore. Here's Darren Beedman.
Stand up, Jack. Come on. Stand up, mate. We have the winning trainer up here with us, Jack Denham. He's agreed to have an interview with us, and thanks very much, Jack. How are the emotions inside here running now?
Very easy now.
It must have been the frustration, the relief to be able to win this race after being beaten twice, but obviously a big thrill.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted, Darren.
That's it. Why is this race so special to you, Jack?
Well, I've been beaten the last twice years.
Yeah. You must be very proud of Alan.
Yeah, well, he's done a very good job. Very good job. He's down there and he deserves all the credit.
Yeah. Well, go down and enjoy it, Jack, and congratulations. Thanks.
Yeah, whatever you think of Jack Denham, whether you like his nature or you don't, you must give him great credit today for his effort in training this Cox Plate winner, Might and Power. The modern-day champ, as Jimmy Cassidy stays there with Simon Marshall. Good on you, Pumper.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Well, very elated, Jim Cassidy. It's all over Beethoven, and they say that we're legends of mate, Jimmy, and today, mate, you've just become that after the Caulfield, Melbourne Cup, now the Cox Plate. Well done.
Yeah, what a buzz to win the 3, Simon. He's won the 3. Probably the only horse to lead all the way, and the 3 big ones and win them.
Yeah. Jimmy, some of the situations up, you just had to come 3 right around the first bend, but once you got to the front, let's tell us about coming down the side here as we're coming back to this huge crowd at Moonee Valley.
Oh, look, he relaxed beautiful. They tried to deal it up to me, and there was no way I was going to cop it and go back inside. It was just a matter of getting out. I wanted to lead at all costs, you know?
Yeah.
I can dictate the race and do what I like in front.
Jimmy, you swung around the half-mile bend there, straightening up along the school where the pressure mounts there in a Cox Plate. How were your thoughts there?
Simon, you can actually see me look at the 800 metres. I looked across at the marker, and I thought, this is where the race is going to start, boys. Let's go.
And you turned for home, Jim. The crowd started roaring. It was great atmosphere where I was sitting. What about yourself? Did you happen to hear them at all?
I could hear them. I could almost hear him coming to the 5 when he was rolling in front, you know.
This has got to be great for Jack Denham, Jimmy.
Oh, look, fantastic for Jack. I won the 3 for Jack. I'm wrapped.
Well done, Pump. Congratulations. Go off a little bit. The crowd love you, mate. They love a champion. We got him here in Australia. He's the best in the world. This is Might and Power and Jimmy Cassidy coming back. Probably a record crowd at Moonee Valley, Ken.
Well, there it is, the crowd, the reception for Might and Power. The crowd really yelled themselves hoarse. Not one person has left their positions in the stand as they cheer this great champion. And you saw earlier the pictures of his owner, Sydney fruit and vegetable merchant, Mr. Dick Moritis, here with his sons Paul and Stephen. And by golly, he was excited too. And there you are, have a look at the crowd. Normally, they're off to the betting ring, they're off to listen to a race in Sydney, but no one's left. They're here to tell, they're going to tell their grandkids that they were there the day Might and Power completed the big Victorian treble when he led all the way in the Cox Plate, just as he had in the Caulfield Cup and the Melbourne Cup. Simon O'Donnell, Nick Moritis looks just a tad excited.
Yes, he certainly does. Look, he gets very emotional about this horse.